Hey, the hockey season's starting this weekend, and who else to talk about the Spartan hockey program with than Jeremy Dewar of Munn Musings? That's right, full hockey episode. Let's go.
Are Locked On Spartans, your daily podcast on the Michigan State Spartans, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Family, friends, the wonderful listeners and viewers of Locked On Spartans, how on earth are you all doing on this fantastic Tuesday or Monday if you're watching on YouTube? That's right, hey, you know what? If you're looking for some football talk, you're going to have to wait till tomorrow because we've heard the begs, we've heard the cries, we have heard the requests from you that, hey, let's start talking more hockey. And hey, with Michigan State kicking off their season this Friday against Bowling Green, well, let's do just that. Let's talk hockey with the man who knows this Spartan program inside and out, Jeremy Dewar of Munn Musings. Jer Bear, how on earth are you doing, man? We doing okay?
Oh, doing wonderful, man. Doing wonderful. It's a beautiful, beautiful week to get some hockey started and have a little bit more to distract us from football, right? Like, it's not a bad time to have some distractions. Basketball's right around the corner too. Like, good times coming.
So, hey, what better to, distract us than a hockey program that is buzzing. It is very exciting. And we're going to get to it all. Look, we're going to do like a wide program overview right off the top. And then we'll get more specifically into this season. And then third segment, we're going to find out where that goes. Probably somewhere fun, though. But yeah, look, this is really a program that has gotten a lot of requests from listeners and viewers. And look, from people that are super duper into it, all the X's and O's like you, and also like people that are complete casuals and all they know about hockey is that it's played with 6 skaters on the ice and a black puck. Like that's pretty much all I know. But hey, we're going to try to find a medium here, something for all the listeners here, people that want to know more about the program like myself and people that already know everything about it like you. But yeah. Let's start it with the broadest question. I'm going to hit you with the hardest question, and this is inspired from Hard Knocks. That's right, the HBO series. The last question they asked in the entire season, they asked all the players, they asked Dan Campbell at the end, the Detroit Lions is blank. So, Jeremy, take all the time you need on this one. The Michigan State hockey program in the year of our Lord 2022 is blank, buzzing. Jeremy.
They're buzzing right now. It's kind of interesting. It's kind of like so I agree. I love when I talk hockey with people, I love to try and get it to the sport that they know, right? Or the team they follow. Like right now, I'd say MSU hockey right now, without the 2-5 season before them, like a COVID weird season, it's the Mel Tucker recruiting of like that second year, right? Like, it's like, oh wow, we got a 4-star from like Cass Tech, like that happens now. We can do that, right? And that's like gotcha. MSU going out and getting 3 NTDP kids right away, right? Which to clarify the acronym, like getting 3 kids from the National Team Development Program to commit here in the first August that he can get them. So it's kind of like that Mel Tucker year of the recruiting run, but he hasn't played a game yet. So it's the weirdest thing. Like there's so much buzz around this program, and I don't think people will care if they lose a lot of games this year, but honestly, I don't even know if people will care that they don't answer right away because everyone knows this is a big rebuild. Mm-hmm. But man, yeah, they're buzzing. Like they're everywhere. And I work in the field. I work with advising kids, and it's amazing to me. Like kids all of a sudden talk to me like, hey, what's MSU doing? You're like, do you know the coach there? Like, and they would never ask before. So
wow. See, there we go. And like that is a fascinating word to use, buzzing, because look, just like you said, it's a big rebuild, and I don't think a lot of people know how big of a rebuild this quite is. I mean, of the last 7 seasons, Michigan State finished dead last in the Big Ten in 6 of those years, and, well, that other year, second to last in the Big Ten. But, hey, look, with that said, if you could help me compare it to another sport, too, because, hey, my brain only works in football and basketball, but is the climb to the top of the Big Ten, is that, like, as steep as, like, okay, Mel Tucker taking over and wants to reach what Ohio State football is? Or in Big Ten hockey, is it a little more close together where maybe the steps to get to the top aren't as drastic as what it would be for like a football program, for example?
Yeah, I'd say it's kind of a middle ground. Like, I don't think there's an Ohio State program here. Like, there's like each year, hockey's so cyclical. Like, I mean, you could, it's it's a different thing where you have to have the perfect mix of some 18 and 19-year-old like super freshmen who actually get to come to your team as 18 or 19-year-olds, mixed with that like 24-year-old senior who didn't even get to college till he was 21 and just has to come together right. Or you could be a super talented team like we've seen Michigan be or Minnesota be, where it's full of NHL draft picks and they still aren't dominating. They're not winning the national title. They're not even dominating regular season play in the Big Ten, run up. So I don't think there's quite an Ohio State within this conference. But what I would say there isn't is it's more like there's 3 or 4 Michigan and Penn State football programs, right? Like it's not just the Ohio State you can climb right to second place. Like right behind Minnesota is Michigan, and right behind Michigan is a really talented Penn State, and right behind them is a really consistent Notre Dame. So it's one of those where like every night you got to be on. Like it's good in a way because you can be the bottom team in the Big Ten and not be bad, but not the case of Michigan State the last few years, that's for sure. But but at the same time, like you can't just like skyrocket to second or third. Like you're gonna fight through a lot of teams that are doing as happy as we are about the MSU recruiting. Like Minnesota also grabbed 3 kids off the NTDP this year, right? And they've been doing it for years. So it's one of those where you just got to put it all together, and it's going to be up and down. It's not going to be a consistent climb, which I guess we're seeing in football a little bit this year, right? Like we hit on it last year and everything went our way, and now this year you're struggling back to rebuild again and be consistent. So it's kind of a mix of the two, I would say. It's going to take some time, but it's once you get into that circle, like you can probably hang there for a while.
Yeah, and like it's nice that we can use the word buzzing despite the fact that it has been. I don't know. Like I'll call it the basement. Maybe that's not correct. I mean, maybe I'm just too much of a casual. Okay,
it's correct. I think like
all right. I'm vindicated.
Even to go beyond your stat, right? Like I mean, even the year that you finished second in the Big Ten because Jake Hildebrand plays his brains out.
Sure.
This team has still never won a single Big Ten playoff game. Like. Granted, that year that they finished second, it was still a single elimination tournament. So you get one night, you get caught off guard, and your goalie's not quite there, and you lose. But I mean, now we're to best of 3 series. They've never once even pushed to a game 3. Like this team, if the next win they have in the Big Ten playoffs will be the program's first. So
man,
it's the cellar. Right. It's the basement cellar. And the thing that's different is like when Wisconsin has been bad, they've still been full of NHL draft picks. They just haven't put it together. Like MSU has been bad and expected to be bad. Like this is a totally different thing that we're looking at. So
yeah, but even with that said, like there is some optimism around the program, like and so there are 2 things going on. Obviously, hey, Adam Nightingale, he takes over and he's just doing fantastic work, right? And then second off, okay, well the Munn renovations have taken place and are actually like now for the most part completed, I believe.
Yeah.
So with that said, between the two, which is having a bigger impact on the optimism so far? Is it the man himself in Adam Nightingale, or is it the fact that, okay, Munn and the facilities are actually being brought up to speed nationally? If you had to choose between the two.
That's a tough question, but I think, to be honest, I'm shocked by how much it's the facilities. Like that turned out better than I ever thought it was going to. Like the project coming together. I mean, it timed up perfect to also have a new coach to sell it, right? Like I think Dan Cole getting that this summer, it would go a little bit different. Like he'd have a great facility to sell, but he had no energy by the end. But man, like the facility they have now, like it's a top 5. You went from probably the bottom of the league, and college hockey gets a lot of small schools, so it still wasn't like the bottom of the country by any means. But you went from the bottom of the league to like this is a top 5 facility in the country now. Like there's
interesting. Okay.
There's no reason like you should, if you take an official visit, you shouldn't walk out and say like, yeah, it was good, but the arena we went to last week had this and state didn't. Like there's nothing they don't have. Like and most programs are not going to match it. I mean, you're talking the facilities that football and basketball have had are now at hockey, like your own training room, your own tub, your own everything. Like it's amazing what they've done. They've completely transformed that place.
Man, see, I'm already fired up. I'm even more fired up than I already was. And like, look, I knew there was optimism, and hey, a large part of that is because I see you on Twitter. Hey, we'll use the word for the 50th time this segment, buzzing about the program. But like, heck yeah, man. So let's take a step back away from the giant, what I call blimp look of the program. Let's get into this season specifically in the next segment. But Jeremy, I'm sorry, I just got to say goodbye to your lovely face for a hot second, because I got to talk the people's ear off about Simply Safe. That's right. Bet you weren't expecting to hear that from me, because this is a new friend of the program, Simply Safe. Gang, the numbers don't lie. In the last decade, over 4 million people have chosen Simply Safe home security to protect their home. You don't earn the trust of that many people without doing something right. And at Simply Safe, hey, they do everything right. Your safety is the only thing that matters to Simply Safe. I know, because I use Simply Safe in my own home. They protect you with cutting-edge security technologies powered by 24/7 professional monitoring agents who always have your back. And here is why I love it. With that 24/7 professional monitoring, Simply Safe's agents call you the moment a threat is detected and dispatch police or first responders in an emergency, even if you're not home or can't be reached. Simply Safe blankets your home in protection with advanced sensors for every single room, window, and door, and high-definition security cameras for inside and outside your home. Smarter ways to detect motion that only alert you when the threat is real, and even hazard sensors that detect fires, floods, and any other threats to your home. So what are you waiting for? Customize the perfect system for your home in just a few minutes at simplysafe.com/lockedon. Save 20% on your Simply Safe security system when you sign up for an interactive monitoring plan and get your first month free. Visit simplysafe.com/lockedon to learn more. There is no safe like Simply Safe. And there's also no person out there in the world of MSU hockey like Jeremy Dewar of Munn Musings. We're back, baby. Let's talk some more MSU hockey, but specifically this season. And I think, you alluded to it pretty well in the first segment here is, hey, how's MSU going to be this year? Can we hit the ground running and expect a top 4 finish in the Big Ten? I think I know what the answer is here, Jeremy. Is it going to take some time here, or can we maybe be on surprise alert for this team coming up?
Yeah, it's interesting, right? I think everyone has loved the recruiting energy from Nightingale this summer, but I think, to be honest, like that's probably not going to be the mainstay for him. Like, he's a great X's and O's coach, so I'm kind of intrigued to see what he can do. We clearly know there's a talent deficit. Like, there is a talent deficit. We went out and we got some decent players through the grad transfer portal and through the transfer portal in general. But I think that this year is going to be like, can he, in the word of the day in Spartan like fandom, can he scheme something up, right?
Sure. Right.
that gets these guys more competitive. And I think like right away, just the new coach bump is going to get probably more competitive games. Like, we shouldn't have a repeat of last year's final game where it's 5 or 6-0 in the first period at Yost, playing Michigan. I don't think that's going to happen this year.
Okay.
Their out of conference schedule kind of intrigues me. Like, they have a chance to really put a nice little run together before you really get into the conference season. With Bowling Green this weekend, and then kind of going from there. Like, they have, like, I think outside of the trip to Lowell, there's really nothing that I look at and go, that's an automatic NCAA team. That's going to be a tough weekend. Like, they can put some wins together, and then you get into conference play with a little bit of confidence. So, the problem is going to be scoring.
Okay.
The goal scoring they added some pieces that I think are going to help. Like, but it's just one of those things where when it's been a problem for 3 or 4 years, I'm not going to believe that they fixed it until it's fixed, right? Like,
yeah,
you can only put guys in goal scoring positions so much in a sport like hockey. Like, if they're not finishers, they're not finishers. It is what it is. So hard to scheme that up, hard to really do much there. But outside of that, I mean, 2 great goaltenders. So continue to play the same there. That's always been a program strong suit, and just hang in for some 3-2, 2-1 games, hopefully, and you get the bounces a couple right ways and kind of go from there.
I was going to say, all right, well, it sounds like we're taking the under in every single game that we have coming up. The goaltending sharp for the green and white, and, well, the goal scoring is a little bit of an issue. But that kind of, goes to right where my next question was going to be, is that, to start the season, okay, you got the Bowling Green matchup, you go to UMass Lowell, and then Long Island University, and then, okay, Big Ten play starts at the end of the month. But in those first 3 weekends against non-conference opponents, like, what's something that you're hoping to see out of this team? Like, what's going to give you a glimmer of hope? Is it just as simple as, okay, seeing guys finish around the net and, complete those goal scoring opportunities? Or is it also something else too on top of that you're really just crossing your fingers for, that like, all right, guys, we can do it. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, I think goal scoring is the one for sure that's going to jump out. I mean, that Long Island series, like, they need to just easily sweep that. That shouldn't be close.
Okay.
Like, I mean, that's
Gotcha.
a program. That's a program that's only in its second year, third year of being a varsity program, and it's a long build up there. It's still an independent program. They're not even in a conference. Like, you need to assert some of your Big Ten dominance there. Like, even under Danton Cole, that'd be a weekend where I say, like, this needs to be a sweep and it needs to be easy.
Gotcha.
I think the other thing I'm looking for is just depth. Like, last season, they really had one line that was going by the end of the year because Mitchell Lewandowski was injured throughout. That it basically became the Tucker Davidson and Middendorf show. And if that line didn't score, like, it was a brutal night. So I just want to see some depth, like, have some of these, even if it's a night that you lose, but you got a goal out of your third or fourth line. Like, that's something that you can say, like, okay, I see the steps here. I see, like, something coming together where in a couple years that fourth line is better, and we have scoring up and down the lineup. But even for right now, like, if they can lock down the first line, we can still score. We have something we can answer there. I think that's going to be a big thing, and I'm just excited to see too, like, and as you mentioned at the top, like, the different people. Like, I know the people that just see six people in a puck, like, they're not going to notice it, but I'm interested to see what the systems are different. Like, what's the power play look like? Like, what do we set up in? What is, what kind of shape does it take? Penalty kill, what are we doing differently? Breakouts, what are we doing differently? Like, I'm intrigued to see what system he puts together here. And we'll definitely share that and talk to people about that as well. But yeah, that's for me, like, for the nerd side of me, that's what I want to see, what's different. Like,
right on.
Talent disparity is talent disparity, but if you can find a way to get you guys in the best position to, like, do their strong suit, we can at least try and be competitive.
Wow, putting players into their strong suits and playing to their strengths, something that we've definitely seen from the football team this year. Well, no, I'm going to be good. I said this is a hockey episode. I'm not going to do this. Nope. Okay, hey, here's a question for the casuals right here. Help us out. Like, let's say, hey, I'm at a get-together. We're talking Spartan hockey, and I want to feel like I somewhat belong. Who are, like, three of the top players I could just name drop and act like I know what I'm talking about? Like, who are going to be, like, the three key players? Or if it's not even three, okay, like, who's the one or two guys? Or if you want to make it a Mount Rushmore, call it four. Who are some names that us state fans should know for the season?
I mean, like, if you want to talk about the transfers, like, I think if you want to say, like, hey, like, I know we got some transfers in, like, the first one, especially with today, with the news dropping on Friday last week, we have a new captain, Miroslav Muka, who is, I mean, it's kind of a crazy story, right? He comes in as a grad transfer and he's a captain right away. Put up some pretty good offensive numbers at Lake State, playing for another MSU alum. So he's a good one. Like, he's from Slovakia. He's kind of got a fun story that I think is unique to college hockey or maybe some other sports like college soccer, right? Like, he's a Eastern European kid, comes to the States to play junior hockey, ends up at Lake State. And now he's he's reuniting with Adam Nightingale, who was one of his coaches at Shattuck St. Mary's High School. So it's kind of a cool storyline. Plus, he's the captain, and he's probably going to be one of the leading scorers on the team. So that's a name for sure. The Krieger twins are still around. Love them or hate them.
I know those names. Oh, wow, they've been around since like 2011. All right, nice. Look at them go.
Interesting story again, right? Like, I mean, they put themselves in the portal before Danton Cole was let go. They both found their way back to the program, using their COVID year too, because they were seniors last year, but decided to use their COVID year and come back. And again, like I said, love them or hate them. Like, they're either going to take 4 penalties on a night and just drive you crazy, or they're going to be like the backbone of a good defensive night. So it's an interesting kind of.
I like them, actually. Yeah. Nice.
I mean,
I like that.
They have a role. They're frustrating. It's one of those things where they're frustrating because you have so much in there, but you just got to control it. And we'll see if year 5 of the college experience is when they find their groove, right? I think the final one, like I said before, is Jesse Tucker for me. Like, that's just a personal favorite. Like, You won't have the mullet this year that was gorgeous last year because they can't have long hair. That's a team rule this year.
Shoot.
But you know what? He'll just have to be stand out for his play instead of the beautiful, beautiful mullet, which was awesome last year. And Tuck's one that I think is going to be fun. Like you have Tucker, he was a fun freshman. You had Mel Tucker blow up last year. It's kind of fun to have Tuck coming across two sports. So
it's nice.
Yeah, so I think that's your 4. Like if you can go with those 4, you can look like you know what's going on. And
all right,
and yeah.
I can do that. I can remember 4 names. There we go. We're not going to drop the mullet conversation though. We're gonna boomerang back to that one here in a hot second. But Jeremy, I'm so sorry. I got to say goodbye to your face really quick because it's time to hawk some Built Bars. That's right. I had one of the greatest days of my entire life earlier this week because at my doorstep a package was dropped off. It was the red, white, and blue package of Built Bars. We're talking cookies and cream in the white wrapper. We are talking coconut in the blue wrapper, and then some nice, delicious raspberry in the red wrapper. Well, I don't want to be like over exaggerating or anything, but like physically, spiritually, mentally, I'm a better person when I have a Built Bar because they take care of everything. They take care of your taste buds. Taste as good, if not better, in my opinion, than a candy bar. It takes care of your body because they are loading you up with all sorts of protein, but keeping the sugar count low. We're talking like 4 grams of sugar for most of these Built Bars, just 4 grams of net carbs, and just 170 calories. This is what we're talking about. But hey, you know what? If you're like me, you don't like spending money a lot. They also take care of your wallet. So that's the third thing they take care of. Because when you go to Built.com to smash in your order of Built Bars, you're going to use promo code LOCKEDON15. That's going to save you 15% off of your order of the greatest protein bars in the nation. Say goodbye to your protein bars where, hey, you bite into it and it's like you're eating a 2x4. No, this is delightful. It is amazing. And they care for your wallet because when you go to Built.com, promo code LOCKEDON15. That's 15% off your order. One more time, Built.com. Promo code LOCKEDON15 for your Built Bars. All right, now it's time for mullet talk. I was not hip to this. Is this a team rule that they can't have mullets, or is this an NCAA sanctioned rule going on here? Who do I got to yell at? What?
God, I wish I could blame the NCAA here, man.
Oh
no, it's a new team rule. I'm interested to see if it sticks around. It kind of has the ring of a like new coach coming in. Like let's have a little buy-in where like we find something that all we got to look a certain way. Then again, Adam Nightingale comes from like the a little bit of the old school, maybe like playing under Conley, knew who Ron Mason was growing up. So maybe there's a little bit to it, but we'll see. I don't want to see how strict this is. Can I just have a little bit like the little duck bill coming out the back of the helmet? Is that okay? Like
a little flip. Yeah, right.
Yeah, you got to have a little flip. But I was sad to hear that Tuck was keeping the haircut, and we'll see. I hope that's a rule that changes like once he gets the program kind of all bought in. So.
Or no, hold on. I see the Nightingale vision. He's taking this away. So like when they start the season, like 4-9 or something like that, that's what they rally against. He's just say, you know what, we just need to play some swagger. Mullets are back on. Everyone can grow their hair out. So like that'll be the rally. He's building adversity just to take it away, just so his team is starting to feel themselves when they get into like January. I
like that thought. I'm also wondering like maybe he just goes sideways on us, and it's like he doesn't like the team's kept it secret and mullets are away, but the lip. Mustache is coming, baby. Mustaches, maybe like.
Oh yeah, go from the part in the back to. Oh yeah, I don't hate that at all.
It sucks because they got to wear the full cage in college, so we don't get to fully enjoy all that it is. But maybe we see some fun mustaches this year and go that way.
I could deal with that. Yeah, and just like have the helmets loose, so like even the slightest contact, your helmet pops off, and like there it is for the world to see. Just this one. Yeah, okay, so. We're building on something here. We're getting going here, and and speaking of building, there's no good transition to this, but I'm going to try my best. Speaking of building, the Munn renovations here. Okay, they have done everything. Like there's a shooting room, there's an upgraded film room, enhanced locker room, upgraded weight room, all that fun stuff. In your opinion, what's the most important renovation in Munn that they've made that's really going to wow not just the current players, but also recruits as well?
Honestly, it's probably the weight room, to be honest. The weight room looks great. It looks fantastic. But I think the biggest thing that's going to give it a leg up above other programs outside of the Big Ten mostly, but also just shows that the program cares is like you can do a team lift in your facility now.
Nice.
The old weight room they had was maybe like the old weight room they had basically was a warm-up weight room. Like you could use it if you had to do like a cool down on the bike after a game, or you want to
Gotcha.
get a little lift in after, but it was not big enough for a team lift. So team lifts were all at the Duffy Doherty, which is a great facility. That's not knocking that facility, but I think there's a little bit of, it's kind of hard to feel like the school cares about the program when you go to play a road game at Minnesota and they have their own weight room, and you go to Penn State and they have their own weight room in their facility, and you have to use if football is not using it and basketball is not using it, we can come in and get our lift in, right? So I think that's going to be number one. And it's going to be one that, like, again, I think in the Big Ten, every program basically at this point has a weight room in their actual ice arena. But outside of the Big Ten, that is not common. So when you go up against some of the programs on the East Coast that are smaller schools, like, you can tell them, like, hey, this is something that we have that you're not going to get. And if you want to get to the NHL, and like that's what Nightingale says, is like, I don't care if you're the fourth line guy. I want you to want to get to the NHL. Who cares if it's unrealistic? But I want you to play. Like, that's the goal. Like, that's the stuff that NHL locker rooms have. So now you can feel like you're starting early on it. So that's going to be number one for me. That weight room it's nice. And it's a part of the whole facelift of the whole arena. You can walk. I don't know if you've walked by Munn since it's been there, but you can walk by the weight room. It's the outdoor.
Gotcha.
Like all that glass there. One of it is the weight room. So you can walk by. You can really see the guys. Like it's part of the facelift too. So it's a nice part, I think, for the whole renovation.
And like one other renovation question that I had, and this is a video posted on MSU's Twitter, MSU Hockey Twitter's account last week, and it's Alan Haller talking about it, it's Adam Nightingale talking about it. Adam Nightingale was talking a lot about the film room and how great it's going to be to have this. Did MSU Hockey not have a film room before this? Like how bad were things really at Munn?
So they had a film room, but it was kind of a shared space, right? So it's a film room of like player lounge area / film room.
Gotcha.
And then they had like the study area for guys like that would be doing their homework, and you can maybe do some film there. But the problem in the old space was the coaches' offices you could do film space in. There was no common area of film. So like it was fine like to do like a one-on-one of like, here's your shifts. We're going to go over your shifts. Mm-hmm. Like, this is what we got to work on. If you wanted to do a full-on team film room, like it was kind of the players' lounge. So it's like it's one of those where like they say like don't study in your dorm room, right? Like study where you should study, and your dorm room is where you can live. Like it's kind of hard to say, hey, this is where you can relax, and this is your players' lounge, but also this is where we yell at you about film, right? Like it's your mind doesn't really work that way. So they now do have a dedicated like actual theater space film room. Which that's unique. And I think they've just also upgraded for the coaches. Like the coaches have like a film lounge too, where they can watch film together and not be crammed into somebody's office where you're turning the monitor, right? It just seems like a better fit. Just stuff that old Munn, when they made the coaches' offices, you didn't think about, right? Because you didn't have film on an iPad 20 seconds after the period was over and you'd throw it up on a monitor. It was, you waited till Tuesday when the VHS that you roll in, I guess, right? So it was outdated. It was trying to retrofit an old building, and now that they were able to just wipe it out, it's some much better space.
Gotcha. And you know what? Let's ask the most important question here for Michigan State's rebuild in the hockey program here. How do we get you hired on the staff here, Jeremy? Is it a social media blitz? Do I need to spend next week's tailgate with my face pressed up against the glass like that, just banging on the door asking, hey, Adam, I got a guy for, or like, do I need to like cut out magazine letters and send them in a letter? Like how deep into it do you need to get you on the staff here? Let's get down to brass tacks here, Jeremy.
Yeah. Social media. The official account doesn't follow me. They did back in the day, but maybe I said too many mean things about Anastas at the time.
We could all change as people. Come on, we could all change as humans. Come on.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, I mean, I've done even some legwork, man. I've told the assistant coaches, like, so here's the real talk behind it is that the NCAA has talked about some rules changes to where hockey could become a little bit more like football, where you have more of the like analyst and like recruiting positions. Because right now in hockey, you're only allowed a head coach, 2 assistant coaches, and then everything else is kind of volunteer or like GA positions. To which you mainly fill those with NHL guys because they're okay to volunteer their time and they have the money, right? So, so if we see an NCAA rule change come in, that's kind of been my angle. I've even talked to the assistant coaches like, hey man, if there's a rule change, like keep me in mind because I'd love to be a part of the program. And I think my work in the advising and recruiting that I do at my job puts me there. But I think social media, that's the move, right? I'm a social media guy.
We'll start from there.
You run this show. You've grown like a great show here. Like you know how social media can be. So
sure,
I think that's the move because unfortunately Adam's not on social media, but that's probably a good thing. I don't need my future boss on social media seeing the social media campaign, right? So
okay,
we'll play it. He's in the Tom Izzo mold in that way, but
okay.
Yeah, I think social media is the move, but I would never say that you can't. I would never say that you can't be outside the weight room, but I don't think they're going to be there next Saturday. So don't do it next Saturday. They're going to be in Bowling Green. So.
Oh yeah, we just talked about that. That's right. Shoot. Well, I'll tape a fly. I'll tape a flyer or two on Munn's window. Just be like, hey, you missed me. You're or I guess like I think Adam would be fine if I just showed up at his house, right? If I just like stood in his driveway at a Tuesday at 1 a.m. just being like, hey,
yeah.
I got a guy for you, Adam. So okay, we'll get the leg working on this.
He's a dad. You're a dad to dad. Like,
see,
you just have advice.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm just trying to help another dad too. You know, it's one big community. I'm in the run here, Adam. No, I think you are for not listening to me at hiring. See, there we go. You'll be hired by Wednesday. I guarantee it. Let's go. We're getting this done. Jeremy, this is awesome. You are simply the best. I'd love to have you on throughout the season because the people want hockey talk, and as well the season is actually happening. I'm sure they're going to want more of it, and no better guy to talk to than Mr. Jeremy Dewar of Munn Musings. How can people get on the Munn Musings train, Mr. Dewar?
Yeah. So it's just munnmusings.substack.com, just a Substack newsletter. A little inconsistent on been rolling out, but hopefully as the season gets going, we get into a little bit of a mojo going. A little easier to write when I'm not coming off a tailgate from Saturday, right? So
sure.
So once we get through that, I think it'll be a little bit easier here. But yeah, that's where you can find me. Also on Twitter at JD_Jerbear. I'd love to come back anytime you need me, man. I'm here.
Bang! Look at that, and it's not inconsistent. It's just pleasant surprises. You know, it's never on schedule. It's always on time, though. When people need Munn Musings, they may not know that they need it, but it's in their inbox right when they do. So there we go.
Yeah, as my son allows.
See,
he runs the ship. So
the editor-in-chief. There we go. Yep. I hear you there, man. Well, Jeremy, enjoy the rest of your week, man. Happy MSU hockey opening week. Not just to you, but for all the listeners and viewers as well. You guys are truly the best. We will be back tomorrow. We're going to be talking, back to the gridiron. More football. If anything, basketball breaks, we're going to talk about that. You know where to keep it. Locked on Spartans, your team of green and white 5 days a week. Love you all. Go green.